Okay, today let's talk about getting triggered. I bet it is not just me, but many people have this problem where it's like you have done a level of work on yourself and you've done a level of, either it is therapy or self help or spirituality, and you have some level of self awareness, right? But it is not enough for you to not get triggered. And you're basically on a level where something happened and you get triggered and you are aware that you're getting triggered, but it's almost like you're just watching yourself, like there's nothing you could do. You're just like, oh my god, this is happening again. So it's like you are aware of the pattern or whatever negativity inside of you is getting stirred up, right? And it's like you know that this is happening again, and you know that you have this pattern already. You are aware to this degree, but you can not respond to it properly, or you feel like you still feel some degree of powerlessness when you are triggered, when some kind of negative karmic momentum coming again at you. And it's like you are kind of there, but you are not entirely there yet, where ideally you're not like elevated to a point where you are just not getting triggered, or you can see it through so clearly that you wouldn't have some instant initial physical, emotional, energetic reaction to something. So if you're at this level, what do you do when you get triggered? I think, to really the first thing is just like to see that, yes, I am getting triggered, and it is great. It is great that I am aware of this. It is already, one huge step forward. It is a great progress that I made, that now I can be aware that the triggering is happening. I can watch myself getting triggered. This is already a big step, because think about it, think about in the past, perhaps for you, it could be a year ago, or it could be, 3-5 years ago. Somewhere in the past, right? The same thing, the same pattern happening back then, the same trigger happening back then. You didn't know at some point before, while you were being triggered, that you were triggered, right? Back then, at some point, you were completely ignorant of it. And at that time, the pain and the reaction was much greater than how it is now. Right? Because back then, at some point, you had no idea of what triggering was, and you had no idea of this pattern that you have, and now you do, and that's a great thing. You should, I think, first of all, just see that you've made progress, even though you are still triggered, even though you still are affected by the same thing, but the degree is different. And the level of awareness is totally different. And now you're aware, it means that it is a great first step. I mean, it is a great progress you've made, and you're on your way. So don't get disheartened when you're like, this shit is happening again. Why is it that I'm reacting just also like almost like out of my control? My body, my emotion is just reacting, right? Like against my will, again, to this thing. Well, but now you are aware. Now you know that you have this, and this is a great progress you've made. And somebody told me before about this, how we're making progress, and she said it's like you have a mountain and you go like spiraling like this, like the road of to climb up the mountain is like spiraling, and then it's like maybe you're like at point, like when you're at the bottom, you're at this point, and then when you have go round and round, you have climbed up, and you have, to some degree, you have climbed up, and maybe you used to be like here, right? And then you go round and round, and now you're here. It's like, so in some ways, when you look down at the mountain, it's still kind of the same view. It's like, it's similar view, right? Because you're still, it's like you're at the same position, but a different altitude. It's like, now you are higher. So it seems like, you know, you are encounter the same issue, you are seeing the same view, but your perspective is different. Your perspective is higher. And I love this analogy. It's like we go round and round and round, and we are moving up, but we are also repeating some patterns, right? It's not like the thing that you're aware of, it can just be gone the next day or the next year, or even after 5 years, 10 years. It's like, it really is sometimes certain pattern is so karmically strong that it takes a lifetime. It's just like, maybe it will always kind of bother you, but you know, the way that the level of your awareness and the way you respond to it will be different. With the leveling up of your awareness, and you're becoming more and more like aware of yourself, and you know yourself more and more. And in this process, you respond to the thing, your just like visceral reaction to the thing is bound to be different, and it's bound to level up as well as your awareness go up. So, you know, just if you are kind of like me, and when you get frustrated, when you see the same pattern happening again, you're like, oh damn, like why is it happening again? Just, you know, let yourself know that, hey, you know, you made progress for sure. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be aware of this right now, right? So we've made progress. That's good. What else I want to say? What else do I want to say? Also, even about repeating lessons. I do think like every time when we encounter the same lesson, it seems like the same, but every time we get something deeper out of it. So it's like, it's almost like if you have a course, you keep retaking the course and retaking it, and every time you get something deeper out of it. So it seems like the same course, but your learning process is different, and every time you get something new out of it. And I do think that's the same with life experiences. It seems like you're encountering the same course, but I do think that we are getting, every time we're deepening our lesson, and we are getting something new out of it. So I do think that we're still elevating, you know, even if it seems like the same shit is happening again and again. What else I want to say? Hang on. Okay, the next thing I want to say is really to have more compassion with yourself. So, about compassion, I think that we should look at ourselves as somebody who have no idea of themselves really. And you know, what do you do with somebody who has no idea of their ancestral patterns? Who knows, you know, their own karmic patterns? It's like, who knows what happened in your past lives, and who knows what happens to your ancestor, to your family, to your spirit family, to whatever. It's like, you know, and who knows what greater, bigger outside influences are influencing your life right now. You don't know. Really, we don't know. We have no idea of a lot of time, like of ourselves, of, you know, the what makes us us, what makes us react to things and respond to things in the unique way that we do individually. We don't know. And we, you know, it's like most of us, you know, we're not masters, and we don't have the level of awareness and the level of mastery. And to know ourselves, we don't know. And what do you do with somebody who is, this is a position of powerlessness and helplessness where most of the people are just reacting to their karmic imprints. They're just reacting to life, really. Involuntarily. It's like, they try to take control of things and they try to make changes, but a lot of time it is like they're just reacting to things and sort of it is like an automatic computer process almost. And that's very that deserves a lot of compassion, I think. The fact that it's almost like you're looking at someone who just have no idea. We have no idea of the imprints that's within us, what is within us. And we have no idea with other people also. We have no idea, you have no idea of yourself, and you have no idea of others. We don't know ourselves, and we don't know others most of the time. We really don't. And with other people, really, when we interact with each other, it's like we have an image of them that we created in our head, right? And then they have an image of us that they created in their heads. And then the image interacts, right? It's like, is this sort of, is a kind of mutual interpretation going on, and it's not the thing itself, right? It's not reality itself. Most of the time we're just out of reality. The thing with interpretation, the same goes with reading books, right? It's really like, it's like when we read text, when we read words, words is always already secondary, right? It's always, the words is already a representation, a symbolization of the thing itself. And then out of these words, we are, through our minds and imagination, our previous conditioning, everybody interpret the words again, and to get the text and to get what it is saying. How far away it is from reality. I mean, it's very much far away from reality. It's all about interpretation. It's all about really our psychological processes, which is quite far away from reality itself. And this is why on the spiritual journey, we're wanting to go closer and closer to what it is called supreme reality, right? So, just knowing the fact that we don't know ourselves, and when we read, we don't really know, like whatever is said is when we get it, we're not really, we're just getting it as an imagination that we have in ourselves, in our heads. We don't know others, we don't really know the world. To have that position of, it's like you're looking at somebody who are really pretty much ignorant of what's happening. It's like, this is a position that deserves a lot of compassion. It's like when you're looking at a kid who has no idea, they're hurt, but they don't know why, and they hurt others and they don't know why. It's like, maybe on the surface level they know, on a very surface level we know the direct reason why, but the deeper reason, the core reason, we really don't know. We don't know why things happen, and we don't know why we have certain, every one of us have like our own unique combination of things that trigger us and make us flip and make us react in our very own individual unique ways. And the event who trigger us, the people who trigger us, a lot of the time they have no idea that they're triggering us. They're just going about their lives and doing their thing and performing their karma and reacting to life the way that they do. They are basically reacting to life and having no idea, and and you're here and also reacting to them as part of your life. It's just this sort of a unconscious soup going on, and we don't know, but we suffer, and there's pain. And so I really think the second thing I want to say is just that we all deserve so much compassion, and we're trying. Most of us are really trying. And if you are triggered, if you are observing the same pattern happening within yourself over and over again, and it is happening again, and you feel frustrated and you feel angry. You feel like, why is it I just can't get a hold of things? Like, why can I just get a grip or get on with it? Like, come on, like why am I not changing and transforming in the rate and to the degree that I expect myself to be? I mean, really cut yourself some slack. There's still much that you don't know, and and it is great that now you've known so much more comparing to how you used to be, right? We're all on a journey, we're all on this slope, and don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. And it is important to know that emotion comes in waves, and you feel this wave and it's gonna go away. The emotion, it won't be there forever, right? We know that. And so when you're in like a really triggered state, you just tell yourself, you know what, this is gonna pass. It is not gonna stay here forever. Nothing stays here forever, so it's not gonna be forever. It's just gonna pass. It's like a wave. And you do feel into it, and don't resist your feelings, and don't resist your emotion. The more you fight it, the more it's gonna stay. The more you resist it, the more it persists, right? Whatever you resist, it persists. That's kind of a slogan now. Don't resist it, and just you do feel into it, do feel into your feelings, but at the same time also know that from a spiritual point of view, feelings and thoughts are just feelings and thoughts. They pass through you. They are your karmic imprints, but essentially they're not essential. They're not, they're not you, right? They're not that important in the way that it doesn't represent you. It is not you. Your feelings and emotions are not you. Your thoughts are not you. Whatever is being triggered, the little you, the small you, the wounded you, that is not you right now. To have that distance and separation, like, I see that this is how the wounded me, the me in the past that's still within me, that's being triggered. But no, clearly, like, that is not me now. Me now, I'm over here, and I'm watching this reaction happening. I'm watching this triggering happening, and I'm aware that it is happening, yes, because of my past pattern, my past trauma, whatever ancestral pattern, karmic imprints that I had in past lives, I don't even know. Whatever is the reason, happening, fine. And I do not blame the event or the people who, most likely they are so unconscious, even when they're intentionally trying to trigger you. If somebody is intentionally trying to trigger you, they're still unconscious. Because if they're really conscious, they wouldn't even do that, right? So even if they are intentionally triggering you, know that they are still unconscious. They're unconscious of their own wound, and they're unconscious of the world. They're unconscious of reality and of you, obviously. And not to mention that most of the time people trigger you and they are not even intentional. They don't have that intention, but you are triggered. So just let it go and forgive them and have compassion for them too, and really just see that it's not their fault. Even when they do it intentionally, think to yourself, it's not their fault. Just let it go, because they're unconscious and they're suffering, and it's sad, and they deserve compassion. And just don't hold on to it and ruminate about, like, why is this person triggering me, and and get into your head about that. Just really see that they're not conscious at all. They don't know, because if they do, they won't. But since they're doing it, whether it is intentional or unintentional, it means that they are not conscious enough of a human being, just like you are, So have some compassion for them and for yourself. And just to know that, you're not the negative emotion, you're not the wounded you. You watch The little you that wanted you to get triggered, fine. You feel the emotion, fine. Let the wave come up and go, fine. And know that soon you're gonna get better. It's not forever, right? And you're gonna rise up again. You're gonna feel great and happy again at some point. And keep going. Keep going. All right, good job. Good job for doing all the work that you've done. And if nobody said this to you, I'm gonna say this. I am so proud of you. Stay beautiful. And have a good night.